and Encik Zahrin Aris from BFL Persatuan Film Malaysia, and Tuan Azlin Waris, My Creative Ventures. And our moderator for this program, for this session is Yang Berbahagia Dato' Muhammad Maidin Mustaqim, CEO of CCAT. Silakan, Yang Berbahagia Dato'.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Zahrin Aris.
Outside, never mind. We'll start first. Yeah. Thank you very much. Our topic today is on the ecosystem and funding. I think we'll. Who wants to go first? You want to go? No, I think we give the privilege to Finas. Everybody knows Finas. Let's hear what Finas has to say. Nazrul, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dato'. First of all, I would like to thank you for each and every one of you to be here with us. So I just want to share with some of the information about the funding. We call the Digital Content Fund. Before we go to the further, so I would like to share some of our video, which is some of the projects are funded by Digital Content Fund.
Saya boleh mengenali kita.
You better not to waste our time. And I don't think so that we should go to all English. Awak bukan cakup saya. You pressure yourself. Apa macam ni? Saya kau. Kau hati-hati ya, Fitri. Isteri paling ni orang paling tahu. Mama tu saya. Itu kok. Betul. Impian awak adalah impian dini. Kami dah hantar awak sampai daripada keluarga kami.
This is one of the projects we are funded this year. Then the box office is not bad, around 4.7 for the local box office. I think they have a lot of achievement in international also. Okay, I think this, we can stop for this further. Panjang. I think just straightforward with this funding. I know everybody want to know about this funding. So we go to the slide. Saya rasa sebahagian daripada crowd yang berada di dalam dewan semua dah aware dan tahu pasal Digital Content Fund, dan maybe ada sebahagian ni yang mungkin belum mengetahui, dan ini adalah some of the sharing information yang ingin Finas kongsikan kepada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang hadir pada hari ini. So this is Digital Content Fund for the introduction. Okay, the background about the Content Fund. Actually, Digital Content Fund is started in 2015 when the government announced to introduce the Content Malaysia Business Center in Platinum Central. And when since 2017, no more in Platinum Central, so we are moved to the Finas Putrajaya to process and to operate the funding. So actually this fund to aim to help boost the development of the local creative content industry to be competitive in local and international. And this funding we focus at the moment for the film and TV, documentary and short films. So this is four of the objective of this funding. I think you can read. Of course, this first is to help the creative industry to create the content, and then the second to develop the sustainable quality human capital, and then third, developing competitive creative content as a source of state revenue in achieving high income economic status, and then the fourth is generate competitive Malaysian intellectual property. So this is type of funding what we have under the Digital Content Fund. The first is we call the Production Fund. This Production Fund is focused on the production stage of the project, which involves from the pre-production until the post-production. So, and then the cap for the Production Fund up to the 3 million. So maybe before this, some of the industry players knows we have the 40% from the total of the production. So, but from this year, we have a penambahbaikan, so which is no more lagi 4%. So we just focus up to sehingga 3 juta. So, and then the second, we have the Marketing Fund. Marketing Fund is focused for the industry player yang mempunyai filem yang dah ready untuk to promote their film. So, and then the cap pun sehingga 300,000. And then the best we still maintain for the micro fund, which is micro fund ni kita introduce untuk especially for the young filmmakers and then the first time filmmakers yang mempunyai, maybe they have the idea tapi they have no money, so that the government introduce. So at least this is good for the start, untuk mereka start to do some of the video, short video, and put the video in the social media like YouTube. So we give the 3K. So what are our requirement for applicant to apply these fundings? For the micro fund, of course, we open for the individual berumur 18 tahun dan ke atas dan mestilah warga negara Malaysia. This fund for the Malaysian citizen only. So, and then for the production and marketing, so company must incorporated in Malaysia and parent capital more than 50K. The applicant not to 1 year up, and then of course the board of the directors also not have the bankruptcy status. And then this very important, must have the active finance license. This is what are our requirements. Okay, this is a flow for the ni. Apabila tuan-tuan dan puan-puan ingin membuat permohonan di bawah dana kandungan digital ini, so you can submit the form application. Mostly kita akan masukkan di dalam Finas punya website. So tuan-tuan dan puan-puan boleh upload the form and then send to the Finas Petaling Jaya the form. And then we have the some of the due diligence with the supporting documents and then the forms. And then if you are entitled for the next so jadi kita akan bawa your application go to the pitching session. We call the evaluation committee meeting, which is you need to present your idea, your story in our committee. So after that, we need to bring to the approval committee meeting. We involve the ministry level, and then if the project are approved, so we process for the agreement, offer letter, and then we process for the milestone, and then after the project complete. So there's the flow of this process. So next, this is one the achievement project yang kita fund sebelum ni since daripada 2015 sampai 2018. I think the rise of the legend Lee Chong Wei yang tadi kita tengok dia punya trailer, and then Pascal, Munafik 2, Very Good Passenger. This is Tamil movie. I think this is a very good start for the Tamil movie when they can collect more than 1 million. I think is very impressed. So and then we have the Redor also, and then Want to Jagat, Interchange, Revolusi, Tombiro, You Mean the World to Me, and then we have also to support for the documentary Road to Nationhood. I think the producer pun ada kat sini, and Borneo Ranger. This is sebahagian daripada our achievement, project of achievement lah. Dan ada banyak lagi sebenarnya projek-projek yang berjaya through this fund. Yes.
Thank you, Nazrul. I think all this while the industry has been leaning on to finance to help in their production, either through directly the production budget, but also towards getting support for the CGI. But I think everyone wants to know whether there is still money left in the coffers of finance this year that they want to apply, and whether it is firm or the amount that is firm for next year. Maybe you want to comment on that.
The budget for next year.
Well, next year then. This year there's only 1 month. I don't think you can get your pitch ready in time for next year then.
Okay, for the next year, at the moment, we still waiting from the ministry. So hopefully ada sesuatu berita yang baik for the industry. Dan doa kan.
Not a very firm answer.
Yeah.
But after the event, everyone please line up and wait and ask him before he goes home. Thank you very much, Nazrul. Next we have Janice Lim. She's head of animation and new media, Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, or MDEC. Janice, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having MDEC here today. So we at MDEC, we believe that a strong ecosystem is important for the digital content industry, and to us it's not just about the Malaysian ecosystem, but also our neighbouring countries. By understanding each other's ecosystem, we believe that we can leverage on each other's strength so that we be able to have a stronger, united regional presence. So this year, we embarked to capture a snapshot of the region's animation industry from a production point of view, because we found that reports out there tend to be on the consumption side of content and not about production studios. And so this report was to understand the general industry landscape in 6 key countries, namely Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam. So we sought to understand the characteristics of the industry of each country, to understand the present capacity and capabilities of each nation, how far a reach did the studios have in each country, how mature the support ecosystem was in each nation, and also to consider what we could do for the future. Okay. And so I'll be sharing with you some of the general findings from the report. So Southeast Asia countries have been in the animation business as early as the 1940s. We actually found that in Thailand, they did simple animation post-World War II, doing simple farming instructions. But the big boom started in the 1980s. Things really took off in the Philippines when they had inflow of outsourcing work from famous American studios. And even in Malaysia, we had our own short series like Hikayat Sang Kancil. So essentially, the animation companies in Southeast Asia we found are relatively young if you compare to the likes of studios like the Walt Disney Studios, which is 95 years old, and even Pixar is over 30 years old. We also found that workforce, they are predominantly young, with most below 35 years old. So they're below 35 years old, animation studios in the region. And company size, they're predominantly small to medium size. Now in general, it will take about 150 to 200 man studio to deliver a full-fledged TV animated series, more if it's a feature film length movie, animated movie. But in this region, we found that studios tend to have 50 or less workers. Role-wise in the companies, majority of the workforce were animators, obviously, and the rest were spread evenly among roles like modelers, compositors, editors, VFX, and concept artists. Most of the studios in the region focus on 3D animation, followed by 2D, VFX, and other services. Companies operated in various modes, some only doing outsourcing projects, some focusing only on doing their own original IPs, and obviously some doing both. We found that studios in Indonesia and the Philippines tend to focus more on outsourcing services because doing the original IPs just didn't yield good enough returns. Singapore, however, they have very few studios, but they have some notable IPs that's made it up globally. And Thailand and Malaysian studios tend to also look into original IPs. But we found that capability-wise, there might need to have some improvements in that sense, because as you can see from the chart, many studios can only deliver 1 to 2 projects in a 12-month period. But there are some that can deliver more than 11 projects. So there seems to be a wide range of delivery capabilities. Having said that, however, it could be because it might be different types of projects and different sizes. So the ecosystem support is very important for growth, and the 4 key pillars that we looked at enabling the animation industry ecosystem will be education and training, funding and incentive, association special interest group support, as well as grassroots development. All the countries that we surveyed had various forms of offerings by the institutes of higher learnings, offering creative courses to fill the industry needs. Sorry. All right. Respondents on the survey all agreed that the production side and production stage of the value chain required the most funding. Whilst there are some form of government support in most of the countries, the Southeast Asian ecosystem for financing predominantly is still very underdeveloped. We found that Vietnam and Malaysian studios had the highest dependency on external funding, be it government loans, grants, loans, angel investors or venture capital. They did cite that commercial loans was one way of getting funding, but it was also cited as very difficult to obtain. Regional banks just found it difficult because of the intangible nature of the IP to value it as collaterals. So despite being a young industry, many of the studios that we surveyed had said that they have experience working, collaborating with other creative studios, and those who haven't are very open to working together. Some of the key markets that these companies look at for their businesses, obvious ones, the US, Europe, and obviously within the region. So moving forward for the Malaysian animation industry, we believe that I think more collaborations, enhanced collaborations need to happen so that companies can take on bigger projects. As mentioned earlier, studios tend to be small, so it's too risky for them to take on big projects. So by collaborating, we believe they'll be able to take on bigger projects, and we hope to facilitate more business matchings. We also think more regional collaboration on education and training can provide avenues for ideas exchange and technology transfers. MDAC will continue to organize our annual animation conference festival like Creative. It started off as a local educational platform. And what we hope to grow is for Creative to support regional businesses. And we've seen that happening over the years. This year, we had 9 country pavilions at Creative, including from France and Greece, other than just our regional partners. We had attendees from 21 countries, and we had both B2B and pitching sessions. We also support regional platforms and festivals, for example, like the Barros International Animation Festival, Digicon 6, Create Philippines, BIDC Thailand, SIGGRAPH Asia, just to name a few. It creates the opportunities for collaboration and exposure. Now, grassroots programs, we believe, is also key, and we need to address youth development, which we hope to address through Creative at schools, where we will further push the awareness and capabilities of our young talent. And MDAC as a whole, trying to inculcate digital natives through our Digital Maker Movement program. Community programs and talks will be ongoing for upskilling and networking opportunities. We'll also be boosting our collaborative efforts among our creative network centers like Sabah Secretary and Magic X in Johor. And obviously, we will continue our IPCC program, which to catalyze and seed new IP creation. We've run that competition for more than 10 years now, and we've had many IPs come out of it, successful IPs. Also, having executed programs over the years, moving forward, we think initiatives will need to be rolled out on a tiered manner based on the maturity level of the organization. So startups will focus more on things like incubation and mentorship, which is our MAC3 programs that we have. For growth companies, they are more mid-size, they need more market access and development funding and platform. We have more of those companies now, and we definitely need to help push them to the next stage. And obviously, we have our successful established matured companies, which will need more targeted types of programs, business missions, as well as export programs. So there's lots to be done moving forward, but I think we believe that with this kind of structured approach, the digital content industry can continue to grow and be and flourish and be a major contributor to our local economy. Thank you.
And for Dennis, and that just for information of our foreign guests and speakers, there are two government bodies who are actively involved in supporting the content industry, mainly FINAS itself, which focus more towards film and television programs development, and MDAC.
We focus more on animation and games and technology.
And for the industry players here, obviously they can cover everything about what they're doing. So I would suggest that you can always call them up or check out their website to get more information, make appointments to then see what help they can offer you. Okay? Now we move on to the next person on the list. And no, it's not the lady. We saved the lady for last. We'll have Zarin Aris who is the Honorary Secretary for the Malaysian Film Producers Association, as well as the CEO of PFM Holding Berhad, Pemodalan Penerbit Film Malaysia Berhad. That's a mouthful. But he's also well known as being one of the most vocal. Prior to this, as the chairman of the Syarat Wajib Tayang Committee or the Compulsory Film Screening Committee. Over to you, David.
Thank you. Dato', can I use the podium? Heavy lunch today. I think that's it. Now more comfortable. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 years ago, we received many complaints from our members on difficulty to get funding. Most of the banks or borrowing agencies require too many documents and quite strict approvals. You know, sometimes they ask 3 years audited account, which if your profit and loss show is like, you just forget it, And sometimes there are 6 month bank statement from our members just to approve the loans. And if your bank statement show the figures is like a very minimum amount, then you're facing a difficulty to get the fundings. And sometimes they give you high margins loans, but you have to pay higher legal fees. And sometimes end of the day you not use the entire facilities, which end of the day we are in the wrong targets, And sometimes also we have to comply with the HRIR compliance, from one of the government agencies. All these issues we have brought up to PFM committee members, and our committee members agree to assist our members, and referring to what I'm going to present. Little bit introduction for this Permodalan Penerbit Film Malaysia Berhad. Permodalan Penerbit Film Malaysia Berhad is a commercial entity set up by Malaysian Film Producers Association to generate income and administrative funds for the benefit of PFM members. And this PFM, little bit on the PFM as well. PFM has been established since 1991. Previously, our seniors members has contributed 2% local film tax rebate from the government to PFM. Therefore, we have our own now. We have our own buildings. We have shop lot cash, and we don't have any loans and debts. And the idea of this Permodalan Penerbit Film Malaysia Berhad entity actually is from our President yang berhormat Datuk yang bahagia Datuk Noman Abdul Halim. Yeah, this is okay. PFM has been given a mandate for making strategic partners and managing funds, in particular for the production of television content produced by PFM members only. Ella, next please. Another one. Okay, this is our management team. Okay. Yang berbahagia Dato' Noman Abdul Halim is our chairman and our PFM president as well. Yang berbahagia Datin Paduka Sumbawa is the deputy chairman and our PFM deputy president, and Tuan Haji Burhan Mat Razi, vice president, and myself, Encik Pasha, is CFO, and Gayatri, this is one of the $1 million producers, and Encik Zarnisha, a special officer of PFM president and our legal advisors. Next. And we also have the advisory board, which Datuk Yusuf Aslam. I know that this morning, I think you saw him, right, Datuk Yusuf Aslam. And Datuk Izam as well, from Media Prima, Datuk Nancy Fu, and yang bagi Datuk Zaitun Muhammad Jiwa, Datin Azmiza and Lina Tan. This is all the industry players and all experienced people. Next. These partnership programs are partnership term and condition. First, eligibility requirement. One is a PFM members. The application is the appointed suppliers only. It's for the main suppliers list. And you should have an offer letter from the broadcasters or surat sujud terima if the projects come from RTM. And the applicant must have a good experience and track records in the field of creative content production. JB limits maximum is 500,000 per proposal or per project. JB margin is 70% of production cost or 50% of contract value, which is the lowest. Security, co-production agreement, JB account or escrow account, insurance guarantee, payment instruction to permodalan penerbit filem Malaysia Berhad. Next. JB project margin requirement 8% flat 6 months from the first disbursement. Master disbursement upon completion of documentation we disburse 30%. Mid stage of filming we disburse another 20%. Completion of filming we disburse another 30%. And completion of post-production we disburse another 20%. So all is monitored by our team members. And co-production agreement legal fees is from 3,000. That is the max amount we fix. It doesn't matter what is the figures look like. It a proposal approval in 7 working days. Next. Little bit funding partner statistics. As you can see in the screen, project value for RTM at the moment we do project value which we involve is 4.9. For Esro is 1.7, Media Prima at the moment still 0, and total about 6.6 million. And BFM investment so far, current, is a 2.5 million for RTM, Esro is 0.7, and total is 3.2. Total project for RTM that we involve as a partners to our members is 15 projects, and Esro 4 projects. Total is 20 projects currently. And there is terima kasih. And my numbers, my mobile phone and my email. And you can WhatsApp me anytime. My service is 24/7 days a week. I have no problem with that. As long we can achieve something together, welcome. And welcome to PFM members as well. Thank you.
Before you go off, this facility is meant to cut down on the process timing to the producers. For you to get your finance fast, do your project, especially in TV program production. Now, and it's meant for BFM members. Now, maybe you can spend a minute or two to say to show, to tell us how to become a BFM member.
Okay, thank you, Dato'. Actually, it's quite simple to be a BFM members. As long you have a license, FINAS, and just get one of the BFM members to be the introducer. I think in this all, I think I quite see many BFM members can raise your hands to those BFM members. I see. Okay. Then you can find one of them, or you still don't know anybody from BFM. I always can be your friends, no problem. And just prove us your track record. Prove us your track record, your past projects. Then we are welcome you to be a BFM members.
Thank you, Darren. Okay, Darren is available 24 hours to be your friend. Okay, the next one. We have Puan Azrin Waris. She's the Chief Financial Officer for My Creative Ventures, Sdn Bhd, the one who presented to us the Chat Lempong this morning. And we have his CEO here, Mr. Rizal Zain. Tolong kat tangan. Give a hand for him for his sponsorship for our show this morning. Over to you, Azrin.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mike. Thank you for everyone who is present today. Okay. Alright. Okay, this is actually a graph, Janice, from MDEC. So at the moment now, creative industry is contributing 2% of total GDP of the country, as compared to our neighboring countries, just Korea, Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia. They are contributing 5 to 7% of GDP. So we've got a lot more to work on. So actually, how to improve our creative industry growth is basically by having the booster in capital. So back in 2012, government has created My Creative Ventures. Yes, we are an investment arm of the government. We report to our stakeholder is actually Ministry of Finance, and we report to the Ministry of Multimedia and Creative, KKMM. Our mandate is actually to support the growth of creative industry by giving innovative and strategic financing to creative businesses. Other than that, we also have the developmental role to support our creative businesses economically and also socially and also culturally. Okay. Okay. We support 10 creative pillars. So our biggest investment portfolio is actually content creation. So content creation actually comprises of TV production. So we're seeing a lot of our investors here present today. Thank you very much. Content creation also includes in animation and games. Performing arts. Performing arts would be businesses in theatre and musical. Visual arts would be art forms on paintings, sculptures, and also graphics, photography. Okay, but for visual arts, we do not finance the artists themselves. We finance the art galleries because they are in a position to do businesses. They are the ones who actually create content for the artists. They are the platform to sell and market our local artists. Okay. Next would be creative education. So this goes without saying. It's actually academia of graphic or basically animation schools. Culinary arts would be it's not basically typical mama F&B businesses. It's actually businesses, creative F&B that has the push for heritage and tradition. For example, there's one of our investees is actually doing the F&B of Nyonya. Okay, so something that's creative. Okay, fashion also goes without saying. We finance fashion designers that designs, manufacture, and retails out fashion products. Traditional arts and culture would be batik makers, sculptures, and also sculptures and also batik makers. Okay, literature would be businesses, companies that does printing of manuscripts and also distribution of books. Music would be music schools, artist management. Okay, as you can see here, Dato' Noman yesterday is also our proud investee. Design is actually pervasive across all of the other 9 creative pillars, but typically on a general scheme of things, designs would be anything that's innovative on creative. For example, we've got investments on doing that stickers and basically designing of lightings. Okay, so where is actually My Creative? So My Creative supports company that is in the stage of development and also growth. Okay, so we've got other VCs and also companies that funds businesses, but they are they don't have the specific mandate as migrative. Okay, and also we would like to be clear with everybody here that we fund businesses via loans and equity, and actually we do not give up grants. Okay, so the products that we offer for private debt would be basically private financing via loans and the products would be term loan and revolving credit. RCCPS, we used to have it now, but given the changes in updates in the Companies Act, we do not do such investment. So the criteria would be a sendirian bahan company, corporate in Malaysia, with a minimum 20,000 ordinary shares, paid-up capital, and active 51% Malaysian shareholder. And the business has got to be operating in the 10 creative supported pillars that we are mandated to invest, and at least with a track record of 1 year. Okay. Okay. We also recently have investment in private equity. So private equity is investment in companies with at the growth stage that is at the growth stage, and the requirement would be businesses with that is in the 10 supported creative pillars, businesses that has the profit track record of 3 years. Why profit track record of 2 years? Because we are in the private equity is supposed to be basically growing together with the company rather than basically saving. Okay, so and how we basically kickstart private equity initiation and investment would be the company has got to present a viable business plan with clear value creation and exit strategy. Okay, this is basically how a revolving contract financing depicts. So revolving contract financing it's like it acts like a credit card. Okay, so if you have an excess of 500,000 and if you use up to 300,000, you've got the remaining to spend 200,000. But if you pay that 300,000 down to zero, so you can reuse it back, the whole 500. And the interest and payment is actually when you tap the funds. So that's why it calls revolving credit, because so much that you can pay your principal and interest, you can actually use it more than what you have, actually more than your limit. Okay. Okay. Term loan would basically be financing that has a definite, it's basically a fixed rate, and it's according to the amortization period. So for the tenure period for my creative would be 5 years. And term loan, okay, why we take term loan and why companies would take revolving credit would be for term loan is basically investments or facility that you take to buy capital expenditure, and for revolving credit would be for short-term investments. So it's also revolving credit will also be to be used for your working capital requirements, such as paying up payroll and cover up any temporary cash shortages. Funding criteria, the 5 C's encapsulate the requirements to assess the creditworthiness of the borrower. So it's typically like any banks out there. It's just that for my creative, it's not mandatory to have collateral. The collateral would be personal guarantee. But if you have the collateral, it will be good because it would, it will basically influence the final credit score of your business. So the 5 C's would be covering credit, basically the credit history of the borrower, the collateral conditions. Conditions would be what is the use of the funds, and also we will take into consideration outsourced factors such as trends, and also industry trends. Cash flow would be the ability of your business plans to make repayments on the proposed loans. And capital would be existing funds by the borrower that forms your to seed operation. Okay, so how do we start and how do you apply for our funding would be via a pitch box that we have online. So everything is actually submitted online. So it's on our website worldwideweb.mycreative.com. There's actually a link called Pitch Now. So this link is where you will have to submit the business proposal, financial projection of 5 years, secretary documents, and following that, you will be called in for a presentation. It's actually a pitching presentation where you will present your company profile, your business plan to the committee, and subsequent to that, if it's pre-approved by our internal committee, the prospect will have to go to a sort of like our internal due diligence with our investment team, and following that, there will be approval process by our internal team and internal committee and also board directors, and there will be negotiation on agreements, and disbursement would be based on meeting all the condition precedents. Okay. Quickly on our other special initiatives that we do. Okay, other than acting as a bank for the creative industry, we also act as developmental role where we support, emerging artists, emerging talents via our industry pitch. So recently for this year, we've got Craft Master, Artistry, and VET, Visual Arts. That has been going on for 3 years, and we've got for publishing literature will be sometime at the end of the month, next month. So these are actually our other pitches that we've been doing for the past 6 years. Okay, all right, that's all.
Thank you. Basically, our industry has a problem getting financing from traditional bankers and financiers, partly because of their requirement for Sharia compliant, which is a guideline to follow the Sharia or Islamic guideline, and firm is not part of it apparently. So here on the stage here, we've got two parties that do not have those conditions. One is PFM, the Film Producers Unit, as well as My Creative. Please feel free to meet up with them later to see whether you are qualified to get this loan financing. Okay, we'll have another 5 minutes. Can I call for you to come and ask any questions from the panel? Anyone? Please? Yes, okay.
I would like not to say throwing passing this question to Encik Nazrul, representing the fund. Okay, noted on the success stories of movies like Pascal, Chong Wei, and the Indian movie just now. They have been successfully collected a lot. But another question is, what about those being granted by finance, which are really a failure? Even collected less than 50K. This is a fact that we cannot deny. Okay, let's move on. If in future, the fund committee is very much aware on this confusion or the non-equality or untransparency of giving out the fund to parties that apply, would there be another new benchmarking or pipelining of avoiding all this mess or nonsense? Thank you.
I think it's about some of the few of the projects yang maybe not very success. Kita memang agree some of the project maybe not success on the collection, but they are maybe get the some of the achievement from the outside. For example, they get some of awards or some of the special screening to outside for the festival.
Okay, not in full. The answers are not really in full, but I think everybody knows the situation in finance, and finance, as what the acting director general has mentioned to us just now, they are looking through all the systems, and we pray that this will be improved in the future. Okay, let's not get into this issue at this point, or whenever go home. Okay, another question from the floor, please. Yes.
Movie. Whether this kind of funding can be made available for the, supposing I am a producer. So if I want to produce a Tamil movie with a Malaysian corporation, whether we can get such a kind of a funding from your association?
Thank you. Actually, the funding purpose of the funding actually to support the local production companies. That's why our condition is, first condition is PFM members. The moment you submit as a PFM members, there is a criteria to be as a PFM members. Minimum shareholders from local is 60%. That is the requirement to be a PFM members. So the funding actually is for the local TV content. It's not for feature film at the moment.
Okay, we are running out of time. There are another two major events coming up. What I can say is that tomorrow there will be a B2B session on networking. I believe My Creative and PFM has a table each. So those who want to get more information, please register yourself today, and tomorrow you will be given 20 minutes to interact with them to get more information or to perhaps present your proposal. Okay, again, let's give a big hand to the panel, Nazrul, Janice, Azrin, and Zahrin.
Okay, as a token of appreciation to our panel of speakers, so we'd like to invite Yang Berbagai Dato' Mahyudin to present the souvenirs to our panel of speakers. So let's begin with Encik Muhammad Nazrul Shah Hamid from Finance. Miss Janice Lim, MDAC, Encik Zahrin Aris, PFM, Club Association Malaysia, and Puan Azlin Waris, My Creative Ventures. Thank you. And please be reminded to all participants that the B2B networking registration form, please complete and return or submit this B2B networking form at the end of our day one program at the front counter. So thank you, dear guests. All right. Thank you again. And this time has come for the fourth symposium session of our program entitled Licensing and Merchandising, Monetizing Your Products and Changing Content Revenue Landscape. So we are pleased to present on stage our panel of speakers. Let's welcome Mr. Teng Chun Beng or Mr. CBT from Twine World Marketing Sendra. And next, our panel of speakers, Yang Berbahagia Dato' Ahmad Izam Omar, CEO of Prime Studio, and this time, moderator, International Marketing Manager of Let's Compact, let's welcome Encik Karya Budi. licensing and merchandising. So we'd like to hand over the session to our moderator, Chief Karya Bukit.
Okay, well everyone, first and foremost, thank you, really appreciate that you stay put there. Hopefully no one is leaving. Okay, well, this is very interesting indeed because we're talking about licensing and merchandising here. Basically, we talk about monetization, you know. So, yeah, any content creators, you know, you're going to have something you develop, you know, your content creators will get something. Now we're talking about licensing that up. And then of course, licensing per se is not just those on the products. Merchandising is part of it, but licensing is a broader aspect of it. So now, what we have here is a household name. I think no need introduction. For example, like we have Dato Izham here, and then Mr. CBT as well. So yeah, I believe let's hear from them, and then let's take it off from there. Okay, so may I pass it over to Mr. Tim first? Sorry.
Hi everyone, my name is A. I'm from Toy Marketing Sdn Bhd. Basically, we are a toy company based in KL. We mainly involved in children products, toys, stationery, bags, and some of the apparel business. This is a little bit about our company, our core business, which is developing, designing, marketing, distribution, and retailing. So we do a category of toys, fashions, household, lifestyle products, as well as novelties. Our office is based in Kuala Lumpur, and we have sourcing office and warehouse in China. Okay, this is basically our business structure. So we have retail divisions, distributions, some of the OEM projects, and of course wholesale business. This is what we do, basically to monetize from the licensing business. So we deal with principals, brands like Disney, of course there are some of the local IP from Astro and Media Prima. Product range, I think I mentioned it just now. Basically, we have a lot of category under the toys. In product development, we do safety tests, but what we usually do is that we comply with international standard, which is EN 71, and there are some, of course, the American standard. Materials manufacturers, we do a lot of survey and R&D. Distribution, we are in distribution for the past 70 years. So we deal with a lot of retailers in Malaysia. And some we supply to Malaysia theme park, which all the tourists, like for example, Genting, Little Big Club, Langkawi Crocodile Farms. These are retailers that we work with in Malaysia. Toy store, convenience store, hypermarkets, department store, bookstore, gift store, and of course the e-commerce. The IP that we work with now and before is quite a lot. Of course, this depends on what is the trend right now. So basically, we follow the trends in the markets, or what kids want. You know, country that we sell to, our new distribution warehouse. Okay, this I think I can show you a lot of our products in our retail store. So this is our outlet in Mitsui, KLIA. Sunway Putra Mall. If you guys have time, you can visit. Just cross over the shopping mall. We are at the second floor. The Starling Mall in Damansara, Uptown, and the other one is Genting Paragon Mall in Penang. Freeport, A Formosa and Malacca Design Village in Penang, Genting Premium Outlet, Boulevard Kuching. This is our division, our fashion division. We just started. This is a bit different. We do not do licensing. This one, our principal do the licensing, which signs a license, and we only do the distribution business model in Malaysia. So basically, I guess everyone know what is Harley Davidson. So it's a very expensive bikes. We only do the fashions and lifestyle products. Our first store opened in August, which is at the Curve, Damansara. We also at the same time we carry Brands United Color of Benetton. These are some of our outlets. So here is a product development that which involve licensing. So these are the products that, this is DD figurine, which is our latest products. It's a local IP. This one is Disney, everybody knows Disney. Marvel. Some other brands, Disney Princess, Cars, Care Bears, Toy Story, Sesame Streets. So we, as you can see, we do plush, stationery bags, and other stuff that related to the kids. Didi and Friends, I do believe everyone knows this local IP. Some apparel for the kids. Agent Ali from Media Prima or Wow Animations. This is stationery back to school range, and we have some plush toy. More back to school range, school bags, bottles, toys. Some of the OEM project that we did before also related to license. Starbucks, Malaysia Starbucks, Disney Malaysia, Golden GSC Cinema. Sorry, and the other one is Resort World Singapore. Pokong, as you can see, Pokong is also one of the Disney licensee, but we produce a premium gift for them. Some of our Philippine customer that hold the Disney license, Tesco Malaysia. These are non-licensed and licensed, which we work with like Bang and Panasonic. A special project with Toys R Us. This is Matt Johnson. We work with them for the premiums, for the brand Sustagen and Didi and Friends collaboration. This is what we call novelty stuff that Crocodile Adventure Land in Macau. Little Big Club theme park in Johor. So we help them to develop a range of retail products when they first started their theme park, and they have a retail store. Some of our product display. Retails events. This is the latest Mickey 90th anniversary at the Pavilion. Some of the ongoing school holidays event that we are doing. This is Little Big Club, the one that in Johor, as you can see the retail display. I guess that's all about our company, that how we work with principal on the licensing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Teh. Okay, Mr. Teh. Upon looking at your presentation then, so from all the brands that you have, so how many of them, in terms of ratio perhaps, how many percentage is from the local, and then how many percentage is from internationals that you have now?
Well, in terms of IP, we have only 2 local IP.
Right.
That we are working since last 3 years, which is Didi and Friends and Agent Ali. way before that, we worked a lot on the international brands. Reason is that I guess local IP did not have so much exposure then. And of course, at that time we have Upin Ipin, and I believe you guys have some of the retail merchandise in the market. And we came across DD and Friends when Astro approached us to sign up this license. So we did, and well, in terms of what do you call sales volume, I would say for the time being, even though we only have 2 locals IP, but sales-wise, it contributes about 30 to 40% of total sales.
30 to 40%.
Yes.
Interesting. So we're going to go deeper into that, but let's give Dato' an opportunity to present.
Okay.
Dato', please.
Thank you. I'm going to stand up. Thank you very much.
Sure, please.
Good afternoon, guys. Thank you for still staying with us until now. It's good because you know what, I think you're going to be privy to some of the information that I think could be quite important to all of us, because what I'm going to talk about is a changing content landscape. Now, I gave this presentation about a couple of months ago to the PFM guys, and they thought it would be interesting enough for us to use this. I think Dr. Mike thought it would be interesting for me to present it here. Now, I'm actually talking, and some of you might know this, the back of your hands, some of you not sure, but let's take it at the level where we're just all coming into understanding where the content revenue is. So just to put some context into it, way back in 2016, which is all of 2 years ago, I made a presentation. At the time, I was fresh from running the TV stations at Media Prima. I've stopped that and now I'm doing the production side. So I have some experience in both sides of the equation. Now, this was a presentation done 2 years ago, right? To make people understand where the content flow goes, where the TV audience people are watching. For example, we have, I don't know where you can see, but that's why I'm standing up. So, is it a pointing thing here? No. Okay. Now, this is on the left. Okay, this whole thing is what you call the viewing experience of a viewer. Right? On the left is traditional linear TV. Traditional TV, just to be clear, is TV that is linear. Linear means you watch at 8, 9, 10, 11. It's linear, it follows a linear form, right? Okay, just to get everybody on the same level of understanding. So this are what you call the players there, NBC, BBC, TV3 here, Astro, NHK, TFI, those traditional linear. Then you have something called industry VOD, which is video on demand. And I put that as what, which is subscription video on demand. And these are people like Netflix, Tonton that time, Youku, he was here just now, and all these guys up here. You can see the Astro on the Go, Amazon. So this then becomes a video on demand. You watch it when you want to watch it, right? Then comes the industry video on demand by AVOD, which is advertising based. Advertising based comes from the industry. Basically, the industry puts their content on YouTube, Dailymotion, Vimeo, Facebook, WhatsApp, Snapchat, whatever. And then comes the big one where everybody is watching every day, which is the new digital content, or the UGC, which is the user-generated content, or I call it the new millennial kind of productions. These guys also, this is the one that you put your cat on a skateboard and video it and then send for everybody to watch. Right? So we have here traditional masters of the game and the new guys coming up, right? Now this is 2016, right? Now what we see is that over here there is a wall garden. A wall garden means I give you my content, but it's in a garden, and you have to pay to get into this garden, right? Then this side is a public garden. Anybody can come and watch my content, but of course there'll be advertising all over, right? So you have that. Now you also have an increase in original content, as you can see, which comes from the premier original platforms like HBO wanting more original content, and now as you can see Netflix.
So even though people are moving to this side, there is still a higher demand for original content, which for us producers means that we have to up our game and make more original content that these big guys, HBO and the likes would like. Right? This is just to show that digital is continuing to grow, people are spending more on digital, and of course, one big point here is that SVOD, which is subscription video on demand, and that is people like Netflix, right? Subscription video on demand is preferred by young European households actually. This is a European survey. 36% of Euro homes to drop linear TV in 2021. You know what that means? 36%, let's apply that to Malaysia. 36% of Malaysian homes, if you can apply it, will drop watching all of this, right, by 2021. It becomes irrelevant to them because it's all video on demand. For example, my kids, they are 21 and 17. They do not watch any subscription TV. My subscription box, anybody from Astro here? My Astro box is cold. Nobody watches Astro in my house. It's just, nobody cares, right? They're all online. So, it's something for us to think about here. Now, this is 2016, right? So, recently, okay, well, in 2016 also, there was this point that says, yeah, linear TV will still be around because you've got sports and live events. People will still watch linear TV, correct, in 2016. So let's see what has happened. Things have changed since then, right? Change is so fast and dynamic, by the time you figure it out, it's actually different, right? Nothing stays the same. So, this slide, I wanted to put it in 3 different slides, but I thought I'd put it in one, so that you can see how complicated it is, right? This is the recent slide, 2018. And now I'm involved in selling content around the world. So, if you're a filmmaker, traditionally, now the reason I put this out here because a lot of filmmakers I meet, all they care about is I sell my stuff on film and then I sell it to TV3. There is no other content source in their head. So I'm just going to educate them a little bit. You can make your money from local cinema. You can make your money from international cinema. You can also make your money by public screening of your films in any, even here, right? If someone wants to air a film, you should have a fee, right? Festivals, special events, expos. I call this the big screen experience. Now, the small screen experience, where else can you get your money from your films or your TV shows, is something, first of all, let's look at this phrase, it's called TVOD or PPV, that's transaction video on demand. It means you pay, transactional video on demand. You pay, you get your video, or pay-per-view, the old term. Now that you can get through watching it for Malaysians here, Astro First, TM, also have it on a TV. And then you have something called EST, more alphabets up here. Now EST is actually electronic sell-through. It's just a fancier way of saying that something on mobile that you pay and you get the content. So that you've got iTunes, you've got what else? You've got all the telcos. So they sell stuff that you buy, it appears on your phone bill, and you purchase the content. So basically this is like in the same place. You pay, you get, right? The next one is as what, like we mentioned just now, subscription video demand. You have a subscription, you have a whole bunch of content that you get per month, per week, per day, per year. Like Netflix, iFlix, View, and this is mushrooming because everybody's going here now. Okay, Netflix, somebody correct me, don't they have a $7 billion budget for content? It's like, I've never seen that kind of money before in my life.
What's the figure again?
7 billion euro
7 billion. Okay.
for content. Okay? Yesterday I just made a drama series for 20,000 ringgit, so it's totally different ballgame you're looking at. Yeah. AVOD, as advertising video on demand for you get video but you have to receive advertising at the same time. YouTube, Facebook, Dailymotion, tonton. Now watch this space. This is going to be a big one. Okay, next one is pay TV linear. Okay, you watch linear, but you pay for it. This is like Astro, TM, and of course, HBO, Net Geo, Fox, cable, whatever. That's pay TV linear. And then we have free-to-air linear. Okay, this is the very basic one that we all know, like TV3, ATV, RTM, terrestrial stuff, or MyTV, which hasn't launched yet. MyTV, don't know when it's going to launch. That's through IPTV, and of course, Enjoy Astro's version of free-to-air linear done by satellite. Okay, there's also interactive VOD, which is a US term, so let's not worry about that. There's also in-flight, where you can sell your content to Malaysian Airlines or Emirates or blah 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 blah, so a lot. And there's also DVD, VCD, where if people still have the DVD player, VCD player in the house, your physical medium, right? Now, so suddenly you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 places, categories to sell, out of which, let's say, if AVOD, I can sell to YouTube, Facebook, Dailymotion, or I can sell to Netflix, iFlixView, or so there's a lot already, right? To make things even more complicated and more money for us, these things are delivered by satellite or mobile or terrestrial or IPTV or cable. So you can have a TVOD that's delivered by satellite, or TVOD that is delivered by mobile, or SVOD that's delivered by IPTV, or AVOD that's delivered by cable. Now, if you're smart about it, in all your contracts when you're selling content, you divide all these tracks up and you sell them all, right? So you don't just sell to movies and TV Girl, you sell to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all this times 5, right? So you only start thinking about it, right? There's more in life than trying to knock down the TV Tiger door and trying to sell him your movie. And the TV Tiger guy is back there, sorry. Hi, Johan. Alright. Okay, now, key price factors. As exclusivity, right? What determines the pricing of your content? Are you going to give it exclusive to this guy, or this guy, or this guy, or this guy, right? Or how about, is the content new or old? Is it current, or is it library content? That affects the price. And territory, you could give to an SVOD and tell the SVOD that I can only give to Middle East to you, but I'm selling the SVOD China to somebody else. So basically it's territory. The bigger the territory, the more money you should be able to make from that. License period, how long? Is it 3 years, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, and all? Revenue share. Do they give you a revenue share? If not, or is it just straight up purchase? Do you have tech specs ready? Technical specifications right now. For example, we sold some stuff to Netflix and they asked for full frame, 4K, external QC. They have an external QC to look at your stuff. So you're going to be ready for that. And all the materials, you have promo, dubbing, scripts and stuff. And well, the point is, right, all these things you must know when you're shooting your film. So some of you out there who still hasn't gone into 2K, which is really the bare minimum, be prepared for a lot of disappointment. Right? Nobody wants, actually everybody wants 4K now. I mean, getting 4K here, 4K there and all that. So be ready for that. Okay, now we go to the next thing. Last one. Okay, SVOD is increasing. If anything from the particular slide, you look at the SVOD side, subscription VOD. This is a little graph that I got recently from a trade magazine that shows a worldwide trend of SVOD here going up and pay TV is kind of flattening out. The reason why it's flattening out is being saved by China currently. Right? But if you take China out of the equation, actually SVOD, pay TV is going down and SVOD is coming up. More than doubling the consumer base, and they use originals to attract subscription. For example, Pulang, the movie that we produced outside of Malaysia, is called a Netflix original. They claimed the originality on it. And they wanted it really, really, very, very fast, right after the theater. The reason being is, you notice the way Netflix has been marketing in Malaysia, you realize that they want to plant the idea in the head that is after cinema, you go straight to Netflix. You don't need anybody else, including the guys who's not in this room. So the point is, it's working. Because I see a lot of people suddenly realizing that they can just live just on Netflix, right? So which means that free-to-air and pay TV linear is decreasing power, right? There is this term called cord cutters. Cord cutters mean I have a subscription, I don't want my subscription anymore, just like my kids. They cut the cord. Actually not my kids, just with my wife. They just cut the cord. Not our relationship, right? So, cut the cord. She doesn't watch the subscription anymore. Or you have cord shavers. I used to have 200 channels, now I only want 5. Because I only watch 5. And people are giving that now, so they call it skinny bundling. Or like my kids, cord nevers. They don't even want a cord. They don't even understand what that means. They don't even understand. Let's wait at Tuesday at 8 o'clock to watch our favorite movie. So what do you mean? I can watch it whenever I want. Right? So, and therefore, advertising and subscription revenues are declining. You ask Media Prima, you ask Astro, it is declining, right? So it boggles the mind for me when I see people saying that Media Prima, increase your production budget for us. From where? Our money is going down. You know, you have to think where the money is coming from, right? So expecting that your pricing is going to be the same for the last 20 years, yeah, because the money is going down. Think about that. So if you know, then you know that the real money now is coming from the SVOD, right? So therefore, if you want to get increase in your production budget, you want to increase in your film budget, you attack the SVOD guys. That's where you get your money from. Right? Now, last point is the social media platforms are making the biggest moves, right? We've talked about SVOD increasing, right? But actually the social media platform guys, these are the guys to worry about. I'll give you an example. Facebook is now the exclusive broadcaster for the EPL in Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos. Facebook, right? Who actually to them content is like, by the way, let's just buy some content. Boom, 6 billion. Okay, right? Facebook got so much money. If this guy used to have millions to buy content, this guy have billions to buy content, you can bet this guy got trillions to buy content. So, if I were you, I'd be making a beeline to Facebook's door right now. Because that's the place to get money. They are also the exclusive free-to-air broadcaster. Facebook, the free-to-air broadcaster for the Champions League in South America, where football is like a religion. Right? And to make things even weird is Amazon is also coming. And Amazon is now live streaming the EPL in its home territory of the UK. Right? So they're taking, so you can bet that it's going to come very, very soon. And to make things even more, not scary, but for you to understand what's coming, is that Amazon is already live streaming the US Open Tennis and NFL, there's a football league over in the US. But here's the last line, the most important one I think. They have advertising and purchase behavior analytics. Basically, if you watch an NFL game, you see something, an advertisement that you like while the game is going on, you click on it, you go to Amazon, you want to buy this vacuum cleaner that you just saw, they'll send it to your house, but the vacuum cleaner brand knows exactly who bought what, when, right? Traditional broadcaster cannot do that. SVOD cannot do that, but these guys can do it. So you can bet all the brands are going to move here because they can track their customers in real time. So this is just a basic understanding of what we think the market is going. Okay, thank you.
Alright, thank you. I must say it is very insightful. So now let's put it into perspective. For example, at the last movie that you produced after cinema, you pick it up at the Netflix, is that correct? Okay, so how much are we talking about there though? The Netflix pay you. You know, because you say it is worth it and not. I believe the flock was eager to know how much are they looking at, if that is the case.
Not liberty to say. They don't even release their data. They keep everything inside. It just straight up gave us amount, and we pretended like it was low.
Yeah, perhaps you can give indication.
But it was pretty good.
Right. Certain millions to certain million, perhaps just to give them encouragement. You know how much you earn.
But
you can excite the crowd though.
It was. I've been selling content around the world.
and usually when you sell a movie around the world, you sell through different partners here and there. You can get anywhere from 200,000 ringgit to maybe 1 million or 2 million. So that is the usual way that you sell. But with Netflix, it just wanted the whole thing, and it was too good. So it's okay. What about the rights that they want? I mean, when they come to you, they want the worldwide rights, and then the duration of time how long?
Usually they want worldwide rights. They want to make sure that you have everything ready for them, including everything that you have done, everything you've shot, every script changes you want. But so this is very technical. But they were very insistent on having something like that on Netflix because I think it fits into their brand. So you're okay.
All right. So another question, Ato. You were saying that the flow, right, of the cinema when we sell and things like that. So from your experience, what your recommendation would be after the cinema? What would be the next, what you call this destination, different destination? Because I don't think, I don't know, maybe in your case, Netflix is acceptable to your content. Maybe others is not as lucky as you are. For example, so what your suggestion?
I don't think it was luck. I think it was downright hard knocking on their door until you get it. But here's the thing though, not all of our content is going to Netflix. It depends on where you can make the most money on. I wish I can tell you after cinema is SVOD and then it's free to air. No, it's not. Because I have content that goes cinema, free to air, SVOD, AVOD, and one that goes TV, cinema, AVOD. You just have to follow where you can get the best deals and then just work it according to your content. So it's very dynamic.
Exactly.
So if you're lost out there trying to sell your content, come to us, we'll sell your content for you.
Right. So in your case, when you give it to the Netflix, especially what are the criteria that they're looking at? Specifically, is it because of the first thing they take a look at it is a box office, a household name, or things like that? What are
No,
the
they want something local but universal. Something local that is very part of the culture, but something that the universal people people around the world will understand.
Right.
Because if you're a Netflix original, it's around the world. People see it.
Interesting. All right, let's talk about regarding the criteria, Mr. Teh. So back to the questions earlier, you were saying that most of your the IP that you have now, right, is most of them is international, and some of it is local. So, but then again, the local contribute to some percentage significantly to your sales, yes. So, what are the criteria you specifically looking on into specific IP before you engage them?
Well, to begin with, today's what they call the children's, which is our main audience, is very different than 10 years ago. So, especially what Dato presented, and look at the media, the content that the children can view is totally different than what I used to watch on the TV. So last time, all the IP or the brands mainly focus on the pay TV channel or free-to-air channel. So we rely on a lot of what we call factor or the viewer. We look at how much of your interest the kids like that particular brand. So we based on that factor, we decide which brand we want to pick up. But in today's world, things are different. So the kids are no longer watch TV or even what we call that free-to-air TV channels. So the kids would actually go to YouTube or on the internet to search on the things that they want, which means basically this is about content on demand, I would say. And yeah.
All right. So now, talking about that, for example, like you were saying, if I got it right, you were saying that the local contents, you were saying that it didn't gain much traction. Is that, am I right?
Reason is that of course we always play safe. As you can see, Disney is well known, so the exposure is big. So usually but of course it relates to the activities of the brand owner that they are going to provide or their marketing. So it's very important for us. We have to understand their marketing planning. So basically, it's not just about the brands, also the activity, on-ground activities that they're going to do. We can't just rely on the data from the viewer. So because the retailer as well is also important, the retailer. without the retailer support, we can't do anything. So if let's say I have a brand that you think that very strong, but if the retailer are not giving any support, that's it. We can't do much. So that's not really that we think what we think it can sell. So basically, we have to understand the kids what they really want. At the same time, so what about retailer? So are they support us in terms of retail space?
Right. So I got another just to take it outside the box. For example, if the what do you call this specific IP owners come to you, the local ones, but then again they are not as big as they are, but they do have plan how to go move forward. They have support from certain entities. Do they stand a chance?
Yeah, of course. If you look at their plan, if we think that they are very aggressive or very committed to build their brands, of course we will consider their brands. Most important is that it's not only the popularity, it's also the amount of activity we promote the brands.
Right. All right. So another thing, have you ever? Because I recall when we have a movie, any given movie, there will always come merchandising be coupled to it. Right. So for example, like we have whatever movie, and then there's certain products, merchandising, premium. Do you ever engage with any players in the industry when it comes to movie and then launching the merchandise, which is collaboration of you, something like that? Have you been there?
Yes, we did a few. Usually, of course, the animation for the cartoons. But the thing is that the response is not that encouraging. What it used to be maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago. The lifespan becomes shorter and shorter. For example, I give you an example. If you remember Chicken Little from Disney, is it Pixar? If I'm not mistaken. It lasts quite long. And then The Incredibles, if you remember, I think more than 10 years ago. So it can last like more than a year. But if you look at the recent Incredible 2, first of all, you hardly can see the products. I think you can see in certain toy store. And I think nobody talks about it. And if you approach the kids, whether you want to buy the toys for them, I don't think they are interested.
All right. Okay. Last questions. Since we are running out of time, I wish I could open it to the floor, but unfortunately, I don't think we have that. So last question. This is a very what they call this famous question, I guess. How do you deal with piracy?
So, privacy. Okay. For the privacy part, for our side, nothing much we can do. I think we need to work with the brand owner. At the end, piracy, yeah. Oh, piracy. Okay. Yeah, I think we have to work with the brand owner and of course the enforcement. We usually what we do is that we report to the brand owner, and then brand owner will take action to those that are selling a pirated version. We as a licensee or distributor, I don't think in legal we don't have any rights to take action against them because we do not own the brands. Well, what we can do is that we collect some what we call evidence, and then we pass it to the principal, and then whether the principal want to take any legal action.
All right. Okay. Last question to Dato'. This is really the last question, though. Very interesting when Dato' said that moving forward we can see that the pattern, for example, like FB got this emphasis to the and all. So to put it into perspective, realistically, is it, for example, like if we have content creators, when because I recall some back, you want to have this you write whatever, it's already happening, but it didn't reach this show yet. So in this case, is it already available for the Malaysian to explore it?
Well, for the FB rights just now, Facebook, I think they only cover up those rights for the certain territories. But you can bet that they're gonna come to these shores already. So I think we should be ready for the dominance of the digital players. Because for them, for example, for Amazon, right, they make more money from selling whatever they're selling through the Amazon digital e-commerce. So they use the content as a way to promote people to come into their universe rather than sell and stuff. So once we realize that, we know that the place of content, how they use it,
then we will know how to sell the content to them. So I think it's very, very important for us to understand that the world is changing and it's not like what it was last time. Alright, thank you very much. So I guess with that we're going to wrap the sessions. And then I believe there are a lot of questions, so all of you can catch up Dato and Mr. Tim, and after this perhaps we're running out of time. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kari Louis from National. Well, once again, thank you to our panel of speakers. And as a token of appreciation to our panel of speakers and moderator, we'd like to invite Yang Lusa, Mr. Yogi Chin, Honorary Secretary of CCAM, to present a souvenir to our panel of speakers. So I'd like to invite and welcome Mr. Yogi Chin and Mr. Ten Chun Bing, Taiwan Marketing Sandra Prahat. And next to Yang Berbahagia Dato' Ahmad Izam Omar, CEO of Prime Studios, Sandra Prahat. Thank you, Mr. Yogi Chin. And ladies and gentlemen, we are running out of time. And for your information, coffee and tea serving at the foyer. And so we'd like to invite you to feel free to enjoy yourself. You can take your drink and bring it inside the ballroom while we carry on with the next session. So we have come to the fifth session. That is the last session for today's program. This is the first session of Selling Internationally, entitled What Do Buyers Want? It's a pleasure to introduce our panel of speakers on stage. So we'd like to invite from Singapore, Puan Sabaria Ramilan, Middlecroft, Singapore. And please, Puan Sabaria Ramilan from Singapore. And Latin Media Corp, Latin America, Mr. Jose Escalante. Mr. Adham Nasrallah from Lebanon. Same Media, Lebanon. Adham Nasrallah. Okay, please. Once again, from Lebanon. Thank you. All right, and next, from Indonesia, NNC Media, Mr. Ryan Setiawan. Ryan Setiawan from NNC Media Indonesia. And from Pakistan, Mr. Muhammad Saeed Shiraz, Sterling International Pakistan. And next, RCTI MNC Group Indonesia, Encik Nafi Azhari. Nafi Azhari. And next, from Australia, Miss Belinda Ravier. Miss Belinda, Australia. And our moderator, let's welcome on stage Encik Latif Mohaidi, Council Member of CCAM and CEO of Fita Studios. Come on, put your hands together to welcome our moderator, Encik Latif Mohaidi. Okay, I would like to make some correction. Mr. Nafi from Indonesia will join us tomorrow. So once again, over to our moderator, Nafi Mohaidi.
Thank you. Thank you for staying. It's already 4:15, and today we have a very interesting subject matter. I would say, how to sell internationally. I guess in the room we have a lot of producers and also distributors, and we do have a fantastic panel this overwhelming, I would say. We don't have enough seat with the extent. I guess the panelists up here, we have about 100 years. I was looking at their biography. I think that they have 100 years of combined experience. I think this is what most of the producers here in Malaysia need to understand, what are the essential need of producing a content and exporting a content. I mean, being a producer myself, I think we have a lot of elements to look into, from pre-production right up to post-production. Eventually, the most important thing is how to monetize. We have heard from Dato' Izam just now, there are a lot of ways that we can monetize, but the content itself, past few years we have been talking about the content. When we produce a content, the most essential thing, when we want to embark into a project, we were talking about content. But now we have to come to realization that the content shouldn't stop at our territories. We have a good representation of the panelists of all the territories around the world, I would say. We have from Americas, Mr. Jose. We have from Middle East, from Lebanon. And we have from Pakistan. And we have down south Singapore and down under Australia. So without further ado, I will pass to our panelists to give a little introduction for themselves and let them tell us what are the things they look for, buyers look for internationally from their own experience. I will start off with my left.
Hello, thank you very much for inviting me here to Malaysia. It's been a very exciting day today. My name is Belinda Raviani and I'm here with Yuhu Media Solutions. I've been in the media industry for 17 years, and as that stage has progressed through my career, I have learned an incredible amount about the changing industry. And so today I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you, because it's obviously a road that, when you're in one country, to understand how to maybe sell or distribute or get your programming into other territories, it can be something that, it's not something that we're all trained to do. You're producers and distributors, and that's your passion. So hopefully we can share a little bit of information to make that easier to cross global, global boundaries.
Hi everyone, it's been an honor to be here. This is the first time that I come to this event. So my name is Ryan Octavianus. I come from Indonesia. I'm with MNC Media Group in Indonesia. Actually, we are a broadcaster, right? We also have our own pay TV, cable TV, and also OTT. Okay, so I'm from one of the business unit in MNC Media, which is MNC Content, which is we acting like a content integrator, okay, for our own group and also for our client. Okay, so I'm not too long in this industry, right? So, but what I see is one thing that we looking as a buyer. Okay, first of all, of course, the content itself, whether it's fit our needs and requirement. Okay, and the second thing is the technical portion, whether the content itself is ready to travel out. Because on top of we acquiring, we also have our own production house, which is we distribute our content outside. So the business is not that long, not like maybe something like Media Prima. So what we realize when we want to distribute our content outside from our country, we notice that some of the content is not ready to travel out. So that one is very important, because although your content is very interesting and have a big opportunity, but if it's not ready to travel out from your country, then it's going to be a problem later. And also the one that already shared in the first session, right? As a buyer, I would like to be understood by the content provider. It's not like simply I have this, I have very good content, so do you want to buy this or not, right? But I don't think that's the case, because I think the seller also need to understand actually what is the needs from the buyer, okay, instead of just pushing the content. Because as a buyer, I would like to see the strategic opportunity, okay, what is can be benefited to the group, because we have pay TV, OTT, and cable TV, and so on, right? And also, we also look for the opportunity to relicense the content itself to our client, because we acquire and we bundle with our own content to the market. Yeah. So maybe that's it from me as for now.
Hello, my name is Atal Nasrallah. I'm from Lebanon, representing Safe Media, which is my company which I created. I had begun in the industry for about 14 years ago. It was much different back then, and as you can say, I've been obsessed with TV ever since I was a kid. Back in the old days, I remember when I was a kid, you would start streaming the TV, and at the end of the night, it would go shh. So I would be watching TV up until it became hush. The next day, I would try to ditch school to watch TV again. Well, what I can say about my personal perspective of the TV industry, I'm going to begin with an overview on the TV, then tell you what's it like in the MENA. Well, as we all know that the TV industry has changed in the past 10 years as much as it has changed ever since the TV was created. The audience are always changing constantly to something we basically don't know, or as we call it, like into the strange, or there's a big surprise in it for us. So as you know right now, 80% of all TV audiences who are watching TV have another screen in the same room. That was a statistic made by AC Nielsen, which says that 50% of us watch TV, but are behind digital screens 50% of their day during the day. So basically, we're always watching something. I can tell you it's even harder for us to prospect, as it's becoming more of a complex, more complex task for us as advertisers, as content acquisitions, for us to sell to what advertisers want, or even exactly how much they want to spend, because the budget for advertisers has dropped a lot. I can tell you a little bit about the Middle East. Well, our region of the world is around 300 million people. We have around 100 million viewers, and probably the biggest numbers of TV spent the highest number of TV audiences watching TV worldwide. However, the TV industry in the Middle East, I have to be very frank and say it's a little bit primitive. It's very much travel, it's very much trapped with technology, economics, politics, and the worst comes, and of course censorship. You know that we have a lot of censorship issues in the Middle East, and we don't have the liberal TV that you can see internationally. And the worst comes to worst when it comes to media propaganda, where most of the TV channels, or most even independent TVs are owned by people who serve as propaganda for their political agendas, or their national regimes themselves, or if they're businessmen to their own companies, that as well. What I can tell you is the culture in the Middle East is changing. We don't know what people like. We don't know what people want. We never knew that the Middle East would be the Middle Easterns, Arabs ourselves, are going to give the embark of the Turkish dramas internationally, and that was a surprise for everyone, and even for the Turks themselves, because they never thought that their own drama would travel through the Middle East and go internationally. I don't think there's a secret formula for TV, as it's basically much of the TV. There's lots of psychology and emotion, but I can say that good TV travels. I don't think, I'm sure you've all heard of Money Heist, and I know very well that Money Heist itself did not do very well in Spain, but however, it went crazy on Netflix, now representing the new title that the producers of that particular series are doing. The people are just want to know who are the people behind that series, and everyone wants to watch it. And I don't think them themselves, when they created it, they knew it was going to be as successful. The industry is changing. Yes, of course it's changing. I can tell you that my 76-year-old grandma doesn't want to watch TV anymore and binge watches the series back to back on her iPad. She doesn't even doesn't want to watch cooking shows anymore. Whenever she wants a recipe, she hops online and tries to downstream it, and has the iPad next to her while she's cooking that particular piece of dish, whatever she's preparing. So I can tell you, this is how I see the TV industry. I still love it the way it is. What's tomorrow for us? That's going to be a big question for everyone. Let's hope we'll all have a piece of the cake. Until then, thank you.
Good afternoon, Jose Calante from Miami. I'm originally from Venezuela, and I started in this business 30 plus years ago. And we're selling content from Venezuela. We sell our telenovelas. Malaysia was a good buyer. Indonesia, Vietnam, America, Korean dramas, Chinese dramas, Taiwanese.
Jose, if you can keep the microphone closer, yeah.
I started to bring into Latin America content from Asia, Korean drama, Chinese, Taiwanese, Filipinos, Malaysians, Turkish, and recently dramas from India. I have a presentation. I don't know if we're going to have time to, with so many people here, to go through it, but the title of the presentation, what the buyers want is basically we have concentrated our distribution in selling dramas. That's 95% of our catalog. I partner with a Malaysian company, WRC Fight is my partner, someplace over here, and we even start producing dramas in Malaysia. In terms of dramas, I figure out is almost the same. People want to buy emotions, feelings, good-looking people, locations, and the way we have developed our catalog, it shows we have concentrated drama from different parts of the world, and whenever we grow a drama into our catalog, we make sure that that has all the things that we mentioned. And when we evaluate a drama from India, or from Korea, or from Malaysia, we just have in mind the client that we're going to offer it to. But it's not only the content and how it is produced, it's how it is presented. We develop special demos and trailers for a specific region. For Latin America, we do it in a specific way because we like emotions and huggings and all that. But if we're going to sell it to Europe, we are more resilient on dialogues. When we used to sell to Malaysia, they were more like Venezuelans too. They like feel the emotions of the couples. It's not only the content there that the people are looking for, but how we're gonna get to these buyers with our content. And for that, we have developed trailers, brochures, all the things, all the tools that we can put our hands on to be able to get to them. Also, the question is what the buyers want depends on where are we going to sell. Our experience has brought us to many markets, Singapore, China, Mid-Caribbean, Disco Africa. Over the years, we have developed a good network of clients. So through the relationship with them, we know what the people in each country are watching, what they want to watch. Like National, what you're saying, that the TV industry has changed. And I'm actually really concerned about Netflix. Because it is true, if we can sell to Netflix, we have a good deal, but Netflix is not going to be able to buy everything that is produced. But my concern is, like now in Mexico, there used to be a lot of producers. Netflix is hiring them to produce series for them, so they are not only producing for the TV networks, also for the pay TV network. They're doing the same in Argentina, they're doing the same in Colombia. So if they control not only what they buy, which is great results in the world, is if they control the production companies, that's where I see the biggest problem for all the TV networks, not having content. Netflix is not going to be able to buy everything that is produced, but we have the concern of the producers or the production companies. I don't know discuss all the things, but what buyers want to buy now with globalization, we can sell content from any place, from Latin America, from China, from Korea, from Malaysia, and I have a few case studies of 3 dramas that we have produced in Malaysia, and we have sold it in different countries. Thank you.
Who's it? Ready.
Hi everyone. Thank you for being here, and I think it's been a long day. So, in fact, my name is Sabaria. I'm head of the audience of MediaCorp. When I say Malay audience, it means that our platforms are basically catering for the Malay audience of Singapore. language audience. I prepared a show reel. Maybe I should share with you the show reel, and later on maybe we go into more details about what are the contents that our platforms are looking out for. Thank you. Show reel, please.
Surya, home of the first high-rating local dramas, entertainment series, news and current affairs programs, and blockbuster movies. Only the best of the best. We continue to grow and constantly reach out to the Malay population in Singapore through our radio, online, and on ground. Enjoy Surya programs on TV. Catch up on ConnectASIA and feel the excitement live on ground events. And there's definitely more to look forward to in 2018. We're always on the lookout for fresh talent. Part of the action. All this and more packed into our Drama Sutra time belt at 9:30 p.m. every Monday to Thursday. Cool. And honor the best of the best in the Malay music industry.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back for brand new seasons this year. And Surya is your go-to channel for celebrate Hari Raya here on Surya. Get into the festive spirit.
It's a sample of what are going on Surya, and just to go very quickly of to just introduction of what Malay audience consumer group in Intercorp is. It's an integration of three platforms: TV, which is Surya, and we have radio, Warna, as well as Surya. What you have seen is basically, in a nutshell, what Surya is all about. It's a channel where Malay content is being produced and being aired. Surya was born in the year 2000. It became a full-fledged channel, producing 68 hours of programming per week. And now about half of the Malay population in Singapore is watching Surya. And I'll go very quickly to Warna, which is one of our radio stations. Warna 94.2 was formed in 1963, and it is one of the top radio stations in Singapore because it scores the longest time spent listening record amongst all the stations in Singapore, being even though it is a Malay language channel. Meaning like one time, listeners will come and see it here, Surya as Warna programs about 2 hours a day. That's as long as, they tune in, we're recording as the longest time spent listening. and it is one of the top 10 radio stations in Singapore. In fact, it's number 4, beating the other English and Chinese stations. And its sister station is RIA. It was launched in 1990. It is basically for the younger listeners, the young and young at heart. Of course, it offers also music plus fun and casual information for the listeners. And about 140,000 listeners are listening to RIA every week. Okay, in August 2013, there was an integration of Surya, Warna and RIA. Basically, one of the objectives is to get contents through across multiple touchpoints that include radio, TV, and online. The aim is also revenue to increase viewership and listenership, and online as well as converting the consumers, converting consumers to each other's platform. Meaning, if I could get the content that resonates across the 3 platforms, it will sit well on Surya. For example, we had content on radio, which was called Girlfriends. It became a popular talk show on radio, and we converted it into a TV program on Surya with the same name, Girlfriends. And it did very, very well. And of course, that is Toggle Element, which is our online partner, which did simulcast most of our programs and catch up, as well as Toggle It First, where we actually flood the contents on Toggle before bringing it back to FTA, which is Surya. Okay. If you were to see, with this integration of Surya, Warna and RIA, if you were to see the center, the middle portion of the 38%, 38% of Malay population in Singapore do watch Surya. They listen to Warna as well as RIA. So you see the integration of the population, meaning content that work on Surya can work on radio, Warna or RIA, vice versa. If the content works on RIA, we can translate it into Surya TV as well. So this is a very interesting observation that we did by Nielsen, and I think this is something that uniquely something that happened in Singapore, because although Surya is a very the population is not big, but you can see the majority of the Malay audience in Singapore are actually watching as well as listening to the radio stations. Okay, very quickly to let you know what are the merits that what I'll be looking out for when production houses actually pitch for content on Surya. Basically, Surya is a government-funded station, so obviously the first right of refusal to pitch is to open to production houses, Singapore production houses. Of course, we are looking for innovative ideas, we are looking for quality writing and storytelling, but most importantly, the public service broadcast values have to be imbibed into the productions. Of course, it has to appeal to the masses. We are talking about the youth, family, etc. I would not go into the budget and the company track records. I will just move very quickly to the next slide. Okay, as I mentioned, the producers need to be Singapore registered media company. If a Malaysian company which has a production arm in Singapore, we will welcome them as well. As long as 50% of Singaporeans are the key creative personnel, including the production staff and the cameraman, and as well as the above the line. And PSB values must be clearly articulated in the programs, and production houses are free to propose any kinds of format. But best, we are looking for award-winning dramas. We are looking out for music programs, leisure programs, travelogues as well. What I mean by public service broadcast values, these are some of the values that is is important to be included in our programs, without which we may not be able to broadcast them because we are fully funded by our government. Okay, maybe some of you are, over the years have been approaching my colleagues about how do you sell your programs to Singapore? Okay, Surya actually buys about 700 plus hours of program that covers all genres. Our source of content are mainly Malaysia and Indonesia because Surya is a Malay-speaking channel. Of course, we got it through the networking in markets like now, as well as ATF. Maybe this is a very interesting thing that production houses need to avoid. We do not include contents with religious, political, or sensitive issues like cohabitation, LGBT, incest, gangsterism, violence, and our languages. I know it is slightly different from movies where you can actually, push the boundaries a little bit, but because this is a mass channel, this is some of the sensitive points that we need to avoid. What works for Surya are basically drama, romantic comedies, family, social drama, as well as variety and lifestyle programs. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Saeed Shiraz and I'm from Pakistan. Basically, our dramas are more real life, like dealing with problems in the families, and they are very clean and neat entertainment which one can see with their parents, with the family, with the children. And we are dealing with social issues. I mean, the Me Too movement has started recently, but we've come up with dramas and documentaries, otherwise also from Pakistan, relating to acid throwing, to child abuse, to sexual harassment. This has been going on for quite some time. We've got two documentaries which have won Oscars, produced by Sharmeen Obaid Chenoy, one on acid throwing and one on sexual harassment. And we are dealing with the real problems that are happening inside our community. I think it's happening everywhere internationally also. And I feel that the buyers want to relate to something which is culturally happening in their own country, which they can relate to the characters. Of course, we've got humor also, we've got comedy plays also, we've got romantic plays also. But I feel that all those plays should somehow relate to the audience. I mean, the audience can relate to the characters that are there. Of course, there are fairy tales also that one wants to go out of the system and dream something, like that American film which was Pretty Woman. One wants to see that also. But then our real life stories are very, very close to life, what Pakistan is producing at the moment. And that has created a lot of interest for buyers, expats outside Pakistan also. We've got a lot of following in UK and the Middle East, as well as in the Americas. And I feel there is a lot of future in the Pakistani content, because we also do not have any foul language or anything which would upset our audiences sitting at home. We want to really take care of what we are relaying, what we are telecasting and giving it to them. And I think that's our sole purpose. Thank you.
Thank you. We have heard from 2 broadcasters and 3 independent producers come distributors. Let's hear from genre perspective from Belinda. Probably Belinda can give us some insight in terms of factual content, how probably factual or lifestyle, from her background, whatever she had produced and managed to sell to the rest of the world. Let us hear from her.
So at Yoohoo Media Solutions, we work with buyers across the globe. And I think that everyone here today is looking to, their interest is how do we get our programming out to the rest of the world and what do buyers want? So everyone has their own passion about what they're producing, but to understand a buyer, you need to understand their viewer. So the best way to understand what a buyer wants is research the channel that you're reaching out to. Watch the channel, have a look at the programs that are doing very well, understand their market, because a buyer has very limited time. And like a lot of the other speakers were saying, if you send long scripts or long presentations, they're not going to be able to read through them. But if you send a presentation that might say, I have a show, it's very similar to one of your top rating shows, this is the reason why I believe you should look at it, automatically they're going to think, top rating, someone else can give me something, new perspective. So understanding what a buyer wants is putting yourself in their shoes. They've got bosses, they need to, obviously present stuff to them. So you might have a passion, but you need to step out of that passion and look into their shoes and find out what it is they need. A really great way to go about this is to use people to distribute or work with you. So go locally, find someone in the territory that you're actually trying to infiltrate, and find someone that can either work with you as an executive producer on your co-production idea, get someone local on the ground that might actually be able to bring funding in from that country. So if you're looking to, obviously co-produce with Australia or the States or the UK, go and find someone that has done that and team up with them. They'll be able to guide you as to what the networks need, what the funding is, all of those kind of things. If you've got completed programming and you're trying to obviously sell that, another way again is it's great to work with a distributor. You guys are producers, that's what you do. If you try and change hats and become a distributor, you need to find out who all the networks are, you need to do all this research. It's a lot of time and effort. Find an excellent distributor, pay them a percentage, they're so worth it. And then you guys can go on doing what you do best. So I think that to find out what buyers want internationally, what are their channels? Find out about their market. We've had so much information about the viewers and the viewing patterns today, about who's watching and what subscription, and use distributors or really good experienced producers to find out how to monetize your program the best. Work with them, learn with them. It's a really great learning curve. You'll pick up a lot of tips, but the key is you've gone into this as producers, you're making great content, but you might need to work with a local on the ground to find out exactly how to tweak that content, how to make a program that's based in Malaysia. How could that be attractive to the rest of the world? Is there something unique to Malaysia? Is there something that you can go to a Netflix or a Nat Geo and say, I've got this unique, incredible concept that no one else in the world can have? All those kind of things are really important. Thank you.
Thank you, Belinda. I think that is very interesting to consider when we talk about buyer and viewers. It's the most important thing. Probably Belinda can share with us a little bit more what would be the best genre in the sense of the easiest genre for us to reach out of this region, the content selection in terms of genre. What will be the best for us to start off with as a startup?
Okay, well it depends, again, everyone's a different producer and they'll have their own content, what they're doing, whether it be animation, whether it be factual, all those kind of things. I think that animation's always crossed global boundaries very well because obviously, in subtitle, there's no talking heads so that you can caption it. Children are the same, they very much like short episodes, that translates. With the factual programming and things like that, wildlife, humans are the same the world over, but we want to find a connecting story between humans from, every sort of country. And there are differences politically, all those kind of things, our values, all those kind of things do change. So again, factual or, if you go into wildlife, it's another really beautiful thing. But it has to be what your passion is. You need to follow your passion because a buyer will pick up very quickly if you're just trying to produce for the money. They want you to present a program or a concept that you are absolutely in love with and why you want to share it with the world. And that comes across really, really clearly to a buyer. And that's why they'll invest in you, because they're investing in your idea, your love of the program and your passion. Because anyone can just, fling out a 25-minute, episode. Everyone's editing these days, there's lots of things across there, but they're really investing in you, and to cross boundaries, I think that, or cross countries, I think that it's really important that you are telling a story that is very unique to Malaysia, but that the world will want to see. So dig deeper into the characters. If you're presenting a nature, who's out there, who are the humans out there that are working with these animals, or, dig deep, tell a story, but be really passionate about it. So those are the things that I think that can cross boundaries.
Well said, Belinda. Thank you. And probably I will ask Ryan a question, which I think that he said that there are criteria of selection when it comes to production. First of all, do you do co-production with other than production within your broadcaster? Next one will be, would you agree with me there will be a buyer, the viewer, when we decide on a movie? Now we have to add in another element which will be user's experience. Like how Dato' Izam had mentioned that user experience is one of the factors that broadcasters look at when they want to produce a product, a content.
I don't know if I get it right, but I think the content itself must be fit to, let's say, I'm a buyer, right? It must be fit with our requirement. Because actually, as the company that as a broadcaster, right, we have a different requirement from every platform. Okay, FTA or pay TV, cable TV or OTT, right? Okay, but it's quite difficult to find a content that can fit everything. Okay, but at least, right, we try to find the content that can fit the most. Okay, because as a broadcaster, we have a multi-platform. Of course, when we want to buy the content, we want to make sure that our user have a very good user experience, and also for sure for the monetization. Okay, and then the second portion also, we're looking for the continuity. So that's why going what Linda says, right? We tend to work with the partners, the partner or the distributor that we already have a relation, we already have a trust, right? Because we can see the continuity, because we cannot like just broadcast for one time, then after that off, because we need to create the hype environment.
Thank you, Ryan. I think the word there is a program which fit well to all platforms. Next question will be for the MENA region. I will say we have a representative from Lebanon. For MENA region, which represents about 100 million, it will be a tough call to produce all kind of content that fit, especially on the censorship issues. Will there be, I'm representing Malaysia in this region, will there be any chance that MENA region, or especially from Lebanon, you will be looking into content from this region? Is there a belting or any traditional platform or the digital platform which our product can be on in MENA region?
Well, when it comes to TV, the common, as Melinda was earlier saying, the more common grounds you can find with one country to another and start from there. Just like with the Turkish content. What made Turkish content so popular in the Middle East? It was the common grounds, it was the traditions, it was the religion, it was like simple things like the kiss of the hand, the eldest person of the family sitting on the right of the table. It was things like that that made them come through. And if it was fit for me, like I've been acquiring things from Malaysia for the past few years, and they were things more related, to be honest, to like say Ramadan around the world, traditions of Ramadan over here. There were a little of cartoons. I can say yes, the dramas have been a little bit tough to enter. There's still like a high barrier to entry for them to enter, but I don't see why it's not coming, because earlier we had a problem like welcoming Asian drama. Now the Korean drama is #1 in the UAE. Like the Korean stars are crazy. They're crazy about them in the UAE. Chinese drama has been popular, especially like the epoch or the historical dramas. They did really well in the region. Now the contemporary drama, probably we have to look to more things that are commonly with every culture to another. As I would say right now, it's not more about the content as much as it's more about the audience. The audience has the key to control what they want and like ask for what they want. And it depends what genre would work. All has to do with like the audience right now. Like I remember back in the 90s, back in Beirut, the Latin novellas, they were crazy about them. Like everyone started calling the children. It was Talia. Everyone wanted Talia. Like right now you have a whole generation of Talia going on. The same like it was a few years back with the Turkish drama, and now it's changing to more Mediterranean European drama. So right now it all depends from which angle are you seeing that, and what's the perspective that the client, that the audience wanted. And I think there's a space for everything. It would shift from one category to another. But like, yeah, to go back to your question, I see, yeah, we do have a lot of potential to have more things happening with this part of the world to bring it into the Middle East.
All right. Adam, will you agree with me? It is not only skewed towards Islamic content, because generally from this part of the world, we think that whatever we can sell to, whatever we can produce for Middle East or MENA region will be Islamic content. Will you agree with me with that statement?
I would agree with you because that paves the way, because it's easier. It's already there. You already have someone on the inside that resembles you in many places. So you already have another person on the other side of the table that looks a lot like you. And since a lot of TV and viewership is based upon culture, it's based upon ethnicity, it's based upon ethnic consumerism, every bit of it. The culture, the brands, the people that associate, like, we still like, if I want to go into generic branding, we like have some small verses or whatever, but unrelated. It's not necessarily related to Islam, but that's a very, very big part of it. And if the traditions are the same from everywhere, as long as if like the traditions don't contradict one another, or like it's not a taboo in one culture rather in another culture. Say, if I want to say probably, I'm going to use this terminology, the third sex that comes out of Thailand, because Thailand is known for that one. That particular topic in the MENA region will be taboo to discuss. While in other cultures it's very welcoming and there's no issue discussing it, although it exists, but people don't want to talk about it and rather don't want to see it on public TV.
Again, this will be interesting to dig deeper a bit in terms of Islamic content. When we are talking about progressive Islamic content or traditional Islamic content, will pave way to MENA region.
Progressive Islamic content is a question mark all over the world. Even progressive Islam within the Middle East, people are not so happy about it, because people, like, let's face it, people say they want to change and they don't like routine, but trust me, no one likes change. In the Middle East, we were still seeing ISIS and like these movements and the fanatics still happening, and people like walking around the street just because stabbing someone just because like he's not wearing a veil or not wearing. So contemporary Islam still hasn't found its way over there. If you want to come back to the part of, let's say, Asian content everywhere else, or let's say, I'm sure probably Z, people are crazy about Z in the Middle East. So the Indian network, like they have the biggest building in Dubai, and actually MBC itself, the biggest broadcaster in the Middle East, just not like a few years back, a Bollywood channel, just because they thought that particular genre has a huge market in the Middle East, and people are hungry for such stories because they have lots of love, they have lots of family values, they have lots of these stories that take you from your normal daily life. Because in the Middle East, you're so much troubled with the social aspect of, like, people just want to. They don't want to talk about economics, they don't want to talk about religion, they don't want to talk about wars and political situations, because it's a turmoil in that part of the world. They just want to escape it and go into like a love story, and try to see what's going to happen. Like just escape into the world of love and romance, and like try to close a page on something they live during their daily lives.
Thank you, Rizal. Probably you want to hear from the men who have successfully completed correct me if I'm wrong, 3 drama series in Malaysia. Jose has been long in this area and he understands. My common question to him will be one interesting question over my years of producing for the local and international market. What will be the main factor of consideration if you're going into a territory? If you want to produce, when you do the budgeting, when you produce a content, will you budget especially for a certain region or for the rest of the world audience you include in when you come to your projection?
When we started to produce in Malaysia, we have a limited budget. One of the things that I always suggest to the producers is to have a window, to have either the pay TV or the free TV that is going to pay for the production. And that is going to limit you on the budget. When we produce here, we are going to present a new one on ATF, it's Villa Gazala, Islamic TV3. The production in Malaysia, when you compare the amount of money that they put into that, cannot compare to the amount of money that the Turkish put into the productions or the Koreans, or the Americans. Yes, it is true that the production value, you can see it, but what is most important is the content. What is it that is being produced? And that has helped us to sell it. Yes, at the beginning when the Koreans were producing the dramas, the actors or the actresses were not as famous as they are now. And I hope that's going to happen with the Malaysian production. We are going for the fourth one. We have sold it. We started to sell it in Indonesia. We sold it in Brunei, Singapore, China. Then we moved into Africa. Now we're closing deals in South America. So it's step by step. I mean, it's not easy to bring content from a place that is not famous for producing drama, which is what we do. But once we start doing it, one of the advantages that my company has is that people are looking. They come to us to see what is different that you have on your catalog. Before we used to sell only telenovelas, which is they were very popular. And as I said, my catalog now has Korean, Taiwanese, Chinese, Malaysians, Indians, Turkish, and we added recently 2 dramas from the Czech Republic and 1 from Russia. It's not easy to sell, but yes, it can be sold, and I do believe in the Malaysian production.
Jose, in terms of going back to the subject matter, what buyers want, would you agree with me still that traditional bulking of 13 or 26 episodes or a season still applicable for the world audience, or maybe a different format altogether, maybe a shorter scene and drama will be something that we should consider in terms of producing and to give to the world?
It goes both ways. Koreans are very popular dramas and there are 16, 20 episodes. Turkish are very popular and there are 100, 150 episodes. So you can see the range. As long as they're good, you're going to be able to sell it. I do prefer to sell long-running dramas. There's no problem with that. 13 episodes cost you the same amount of money to promote it.
Yeah.
But you can sell it.
Yeah. So there are also ways that we can promote dramas in short format. You think there's a potential of promoting?
Yes, and if we have, we can show you. I can show you. There was a recent market in Cancun called NatPi Cancun, basically for the Europeans and the South American. And in that market, we presented 2 Indian dramas. Indian dramas, I mean, a short Indian drama is 250 episodes. Okay. Indian run for 1,000, 2,000 episodes. No, actually, no. That's what people used to think. That was about it. So we rediscovered that sometimes.
We went towards the sample first. Is this the sample?
Yes.
Yeah. This is Bollywood or Hollywood? Okay.
Continuando con la innovación en telenovelas. Presenta 6 nuevas series desarrolladas en impactantes escenarios naturales, llenas de música y color, con la participación de reconocidos actores que los harán sentirse parte de cada una de sus historias. 6 propuestas dramáticas que atrapan por su intensidad. Impostora, donde la intriga dará paso a la superación, creando una nueva oportunidad de vivir.
¿Me extrañaste? Rosy, la única, la inigualable, la original. ¿Cómo estás?
Salvajes, la riqueza material, la corrupción y los crímenes serán los protagonistas de una historia donde los secretos esconden grandes ansias de poder.
Mientras más la gente se resiste, más rápido se hunde. Yo Jardín.
Marte. Wildcard. Maya, de carácter indomable, es una empresaria que se escuda vida detrás del éxito. Actos de un presente y un pasado que la persiguen. Tendrá que dominar sus demonios internos, mientras el amor se confunde con la obsesión. Una trama cautivante, donde dos mundos distintos logran encontrarse.
Vaya, mamá. Solo ama a quien puedas controlar. Cuando el amor comienza a controlarte, solo destrúyelo.
Vuelve a amar. La India, un país hermoso lleno de cultura, es el escenario ideal para que dos caras de una misma moneda se vean enfrentadas por la pasión.
El amor es mi religión.
Oye, solo quería decirte. Aquí estoy.
Dulce venganza. Cuando la humillación nos hiere en lo más profundo y nos hace perder la esperanza, solo hay que arribar.
This is Philippine, right? Is it?
Dulce venganza. Un drama marcado por la envidia y los deseos de revancha. El programa con mayor audiencia en la televisión filipina.
Cualquier hombre te abandonaría por tu aspecto. Puede que seas muy hermosa, pero solo eres su amante.
La naturaleza y los encantos nos brindan un espacio amable para el reencuentro con la pasión y el amor.
Disculpa, no tengo tiempo para ti.
Esperen.
Se ve genial, tiene abdominales, es guapo, es valiente, simplemente es ideal.
La envidia. Te invitamos a ser parte de estas grandes producciones. Sumérgete en un entorno lleno de emociones y descubre lo que hace única y diferente cada una de nuestras telenovelas.
All right.
Yeah, I was trying to say this trailer was intended for the Hispanic market, but we have production from the Czech Republic, Slovakia, from the Philippines, from India, and what else do I have there? From India to Philippines, to the Czech Republic, yes.
Probably final question to you, Jose. What is the life shell of a fresh content like this in terms of exploiting international market? And what is the kind of revenue that you can project from the beginning when you go in embark into a project like this?
A good drama series can give you from 25,000 to, well, not to, that's a different budget. You can make from 25,000 to up to 65,000 US per episode. I would say that the lifetime period has extended. It used to be 3-4 years. Now we can say 5-6 years.
Okay. Thank you, Jose, for the insights. And Puan Savaria. Puan, my question to you will be, we saw there's a opportunity for us, not only limited to Malaysian company who wants to produce in Singapore. I think the region can produce in Singapore by having a Singapore company. The production, does it stop only for your Malay market audience or limited to that? Or do you have any initiative that you are exporting from your broadcasting to the rest of the world? You are exporting to any sales agent, you are represented by any sales agent to sell the content to the rest of the world?
Okay, just to correct you, actually Mediacorp has got 7 channels, and Surya is one of the many channels. We have 2 English channels, we have 2 Chinese channels, we have Channel News Asia, and we have Surya as well. Because I'm heading the Malay content, so my focus today is mostly on the Malay market or Malay audience. But yes, we do produce content ourselves in-house, and we produce and we actually and do co-productions as well. And some of our programs that we co-produce are the ones with China, Taiwan. We did one co-production with Vietnam as well. And our content distribution team actually sell programs that are produced by Mediacorp in 4 languages. So we have the Malay programs, we have the English programs, Tamil programs as well as Chinese programs.
Thanks, Lorraine. Probably my final question to Siraj. In terms of Pakistan landscape, the broadcasting, is it limited only to Pakistan, or I understand that you have told that earlier that your product also been played in the UK, US.
Yes, of course.
From your perspective, from whatever your observation, short observation of channel, like Belinda said, that you need to understand the viewers, the trend of viewers in this Southeast Asia region. Do you think that our product, what we have in now in this current situation, can be exported through your broadcaster?
I think so. There are chances because the cultural and the religious values are practically the same what they are in Malaysia, and a joint production would be very fruitful for both the countries. To try that out, maybe that works, and then it makes a long-term future for both the countries as such, because that plays a very important part to what we are trying to say and what Malaysian television wants to say. So and definitely the venues will change. If the play is being shot in Malaysia with all the locales here and in Pakistan with all the locales there, and with artists being shared from both countries, it would make a difference definitely. So a co-production would be a very good, fruitful idea to experiment something. But one thing is very important, which the Pakistani viewers go for. They don't want long series. They want 22 episodes, 26 episodes like that of 40 minutes or 45 minutes lifespan. I mean, the period of the serial itself. They want that the wind-up should end up within about 3, 4, 5 months like that, you know. They don't want it going on for years and years. Of course, the Turkish serials have proved everybody wrong. They've got 100 episodes, 200 episodes. But that depends on what kind of a content you're selling. I mean, the basic point is the storyline and the content and the making. And of course, Turkish people were making very good productions. But I feel Pakistan was also playing a lot of Turkish serials, but I felt that recently the Pakistani audience has had an overdose of the Turkish serials. So now they've taken a back seat, and again the Pakistani serials have come back with a full force. This I'm talking since more than a year, things have changed drastically. So that's it. The audience keep on changing their mood, you know.
Probably to understand further, when you sell your content, whatever you have produced from your broadcaster or independent producer from Pakistan, let's say when you sell it to UK, the requirement is the same, the censorship is the same, do you pass easy to sell to the
Yes, censorship problems are very clear, and our product is very neat and clean. It's purely family entertainment. Even the comedies are neat and clean, and the game shows also. So the content is absolutely clean. If it can play in Pakistan and Malaysia, it can play the rest of the world.
All right, thank you, Siraj. I think that we have visited, it is like a United Nations gathering here. We have heard all the territories. Probably it was a long 1 hour. Probably I'll open to the audience. If you have questions, anything at all, you should use this chance to ask, and probably you can pick it up of this session with all our panelists here. Very interesting. As I said, that it is a 100-year combination of experience. I would say easily about 20 each of them carries. So please, I leave it to the audience if you have any questions before we end this session. Calling 1, calling 2. We chance to go back, I think. Yeah, there's a question.
Just to say something.
Little bit of introduction, sir.
Radhi Khalid from Red Films, also member of PFM Malaysia. Because it's silent from the crowd here, so just to ask whether you honored ladies and gentlemen will be around tomorrow for us to talk a bit further. You'll be on tomorrow? That'll be great. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Very informative. One more question from the floor? Question, yeah?
Yes.
Anything? Alright, I think we shall end this session. Thank you very much, panelists. And we had a great insight from the rest of the world how products should be produced and what buyers want to the world. And we shall meet. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you to our distinguished speakers and moderator for the insightful views on the topic. So once again, thank you. And as a token of appreciation to our guest speakers and moderator, we'd like to invite Yang Besar Ms. Aida Fitri Buyong, the council member of CCAM, to present souvenirs to our guest speakers. Let's welcome Ms. Aida. Token of appreciation to Puan Sabara Ramilan, Mediacorp Singapore. Thank you. And next, Mr. Jose Escalante, Latin Mediacorp. Come on, let's give a great round of applause. Mr. Jose Escalante. And next, Mr. Adham Nasrallah, Saint Media, Lebanon. And next, Miss Belinda, Yuhu Media, Australia. And Mr. Ryan Octavianus Setiawan from Indonesia. Mr. Muhammad Said Shiraz from Pakistan. And to our moderator, Jelati Mohidin, CEO of Pita Studios, council member of CCAM. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our Day 1 program, an edition ConnectASIA 2018. So, I'd like to record this special moment on camera in photographic sessions. So thank you. And once again, thank you for your participation. And thank you for spending time with us today. And we look forward for your participation. And look forward to seeing you all again here tomorrow, same place, starting at 9 p.m. tomorrow, 9 a.m. tomorrow. And ladies and gentlemen, we would like to wish all of you a very productive symposium and networking. And most pleasant stay here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Good evening, everyone, and Assalamualaikum. Terima kasih.
Oh, okay, thank you. At last. Thanks, guys, for watching. Okay, tomorrow, inshallah, I come live lagi. Inshallah. Kalau tak ada harap. Okay, that's it. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.